Hey guys, Mike here. So obviously the president spoke today and the market had a very strange reaction, but what he said can have profound effects on our pocketbooks, the stock market, and publicly traded companies in general, because he did issue a warning to them as well. And so we're going to get into that. We're also going to get into something that I think, I'm going to bring up in this video we need to watch out for, especially if you own these stocks, all right? A lot of companies pulling out of Russia. I'm going to show you the whole list of them. And, we're going to talk about that because I think there's something that might happen, which would not surprise me a bit, that could affect us to the downside and actually push the market down even further. And it's not something I agree with, but let's be honest. What is Wall Street? It's all about greed, right? And so we're going to get into that as well. Don't forget, Webull's giving out 5 free stocks for people who open a new account and fund it with any amount of money. The 2 free stocks you get for opening the account are valued anywhere from $300 to $300. The deposit bonus stocks, you get 3 of those, each valued between $7,000 and $3,000. And then on top of that, you get $5 of free crypto if you just activate your Webull crypto and complete 1 crypto trade worth $1 by the night. And you can choose between SHIB, Doge, Bitcoin, ADA, or Ethereum. Link is down in the bottom, guys. Take advantage of that. And so if you're getting anything out of this, go ahead and hit the like, subscribe button for me. Hit notifications, all, guys. I appreciate that. And let's go ahead and get into what the president said. I got this broke up in like 4 segments, okay? So I'll jump in and out, real short segments for you.
Today, I'm announcing the United States is targeting the main artery of Russia's economy. We're banning all imports of Russian oil and gas and energy. That means Russian oil will no longer be acceptable at U.S. ports, and the American people will deal another powerful blow to Putin's war machine. This is a move that has strong bipartisan support in Congress and I believe in the country. Americans have rallied to support their Ukrainian people and made it clear we will not be part of subsidizing Putin's war.
And for the record, I don't know where you're at, but I support any sanctions we do or any other country does to try to persuade Putin to stop this invasion and pull and get out of Ukraine and stop killing innocent people. And I don't even know what his end game is. If you do, let me know in the comments. I don't study geopolitical stuff, and I certainly have never lived in that part of the world, so I'm not even going to pretend to know what the heck I'm talking about. But maybe the game plan for us in Europe is to try to make the Russian people suffer so much, because that's the ones really suffering under these sanctions, not Putin and his oligarchs. They're mega wealthy. It's just normal people in Russia that are suffering. But maybe we're trying to get them to rise up and get us butt out of office or something. Do what we did many years ago, right? We had a revolution. I don't know if that's what the game plan is. Who knows? Again, in the comments, let me know if you do. But it's not just the people supporting it. It's actually companies as well.
Major companies are pulling out of Russia entirely without even being asked, not by us. Over the weekend, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, they all suspended their services in Russia, all of them. Joining a growing list of American and global companies from Ford to Nike to Apple, they've suspended their operations in Russia. The U.S. Stock Exchange has halted trading of many Russian securities.
And this is what worries me. This is what I was talking about in the beginning. That could be a negative for the stock market. I totally support the companies pulling out. What I'm talking about is how greed runs rampant on Wall Street and these institutions, and they are ruthless. We have seen them short stocks, from $20 down to make it a penny stock. They don't care. They will not take their foot off the neck once they see an opportunity, okay? They did it all the SPACs. But this list right here, for example, some of these companies have a lot of exposure in Russia. Some don't have that much. I'll give you an example. McDonald's. McDonald's has 847 restaurants in Russia. 9% of their total revenues come from Russia. If they truly are shutting the restaurants down until this whole thing is over, which we don't know how long that's going to last, you're talking about 9% of your total revenue, the 3rd month of the 1st quarter being gone. And then if it leads into April, May, June, that's a lot of revenue, guys, for a company. And they're already on a downward trend. They're down 18% on the year. They're following the rest of the market, it seems. And so, how institutions are. They smell blood in the water. They don't care that you're trying to be a good company or a good person and just not support the war. They're going to go after them. And that's what worries me. I'm saying they're going to do it, but it won't surprise me a bit if you start seeing companies on this list. And if that happens, what's it going to do to the stock market? If a bunch of stocks start getting shorted down because of this, then, that's going to hurt the stock market, right? It's going to go down. So it's just something to keep an eye on. I could be wrong. I just got no faith. I've seen them do it too many times. And so it won't surprise me a bit. And for yourself, I mean, you might see an opportunity to say, yeah, good time to buy puts. Who knows? But, you know, that's a concern I have, and we'll see. And it comes at the worst time if they decide, if the Wall Street decides to do that to a lot of these companies. It's like the worst time to do that when the market's so weak right now, okay? And so, you know, the next one is to my gas prices right here. I mean, there's the warning. Gas prices have already gone up. Right now we're banning Russian oil imports. If Europe does all this stuff, what's going to happen here at home?
Since Putin began his military buildup on Ukrainian borders, just since then, the price of the gas at the pump in America went up 75 cents. And with this action, it's going to go up further. I'm going to do everything I can to minimize Putin's price hike here at home.
But here's the good news. Russia crude oil only accounts for 3.3% of all crude oil imports and only 1.1% of total U.S. consumption. And so that alone should not push the gas prices up higher. But what's going to, especially the EU goes through this as well, is total overall prices on a global scale will definitely start to push things higher. But also, this is the biggest concern right here to watch out for.
To the oil and gas companies and to the finance firms that back them, we understand Putin's war against the people of Ukraine is causing prices to rise. We get that. That's self-evident. But, it's no excuse to exercise excessive price increases or padding profits or any kind of effort to exploit this situation or American consumers, exploit them. Russia's aggression is costing us all, and it's no time for profiteering or price gouging.
And we know this is already going on. The reason why we know that is because margins have been increasing dramatically for these companies, and they're making record profits, right? And so the reason why we know they're passing on, let's say, for example, if an Apple costs the company $1 more, well, the margins shouldn't go up, right? They're just passing on the dollar, but the margins are going up so much that lets us know they're passing on the dollar and then some, right? Because some of these companies are reporting record profits and all this mess, even though they're complaining about inflation. And so, and we've seen this too. If you're old enough, I remember this when I think Bush was in office, and he had to actually freeze gas prices. I forgot what year that happened, because what were the companies starting to do? They were going to jack them up. I mean, they thought it was going to be a fuel shortage. And so, you know, of course they're going to do it. You know why? Because their job is to the shareholder, right? And what happened during this pandemic? They got killed. They lost so much money. I mean, what was gas like, or like $10 a barrel or something at one time? And so, you know, a lot of smaller companies went out of business in that industry. The big ones made it because they had money, but they took on a lot of debt. And so and plus the CEOs already said they're not going to raise production. What they're going to do with extra money is pay down the debt, because they took on so much debt over the last 2 years. They're going to try to get that paid off. And so he was calling for them to increase production, but that's just not going to happen. The CEOs are pretty much saying that's not going to happen. It makes no sense. Why would they want the prices to come down, right? They need to enjoy this while they can, which of course is going to be passed on, you know, to us. And it's going to be for a while. It's going to happen. What was crazy though was how the market reacted. We were in the red in the morning time. As you can see right here on the QQQ, I mean, we're heading down, and then you get this just crazy swing, right? So about 1.5% down, and he speaks in that area somewhere in that time frame. And then look at this crazy reaction. We end up going up almost 4% swing in an hour and a half. And then from there, you're thinking, wow, this is going to be a great day. And then it ends up swinging down in like, what was it, an hour? It swung down almost 2.63%, right? And then it starts to head back up as I'm recording this. And then you just look at, you know, crude oil. You're thinking, wow, man, crude oil, I mean, it just started ripping in the morning, right, before opening bell. Boom, it's up 6.6% by the time he starts to go in for this speech. And everybody's kind of waiting. I see people waiting on the sidelines. And then, bam, ends up heading straight down for the same amount, right? Going back down almost where it began, and then right back up. I mean, the volatility, unbelievable in some of these moves. And as a bonus, I'll tell you, this is one to watch out for, guys. Nickel. Look at this right here. That's straight up. That's as straight up as it gets. Going parabolic, like in the last just 2 days, for God's sakes. I mean, let me stretch this thing out for you so you can actually see it. But I mean, look at that right there. And the reason why this is important, because nickel is used in lithium batteries, right? So all EVs, things like that. I mean, well, we pretty much need it for a lot of stuff. But that's another thing to watch out for is the EV company stocks, right? Because if this continues, it stays anywhere near these levels, I mean, that's a lot of extra costs for these companies. And guess what? They're going to have to try to pass those costs on, which could hurt their sales, which could also make inflation numbers come out even higher. And so that's the reason why it's big. And there's actually some billionaire I read about who had a huge short on this. I don't think he's a billionaire anymore. I've read this dude is like hundreds of millions in the hole right now. And so, they even stopped trading, I think in the EU, nickel, and because it was just going parabolic, and so they had to stop it. But yeah, that's insane of what it's going up right now. And so, this is something to keep an eye on. Obviously, gas prices. I mean, just there's too much to keep an eye on at this point in time, to be honest with you. And these swings are so massive in the market on a daily basis. It's tough. I mean, you can easily get caught in a trade that you don't need to be in. I mean, some of the gold miners were up this morning like 13%, and I saw them sell off like 13 to 16% in a matter of minutes, and then come back about 5%. So it's just unbelievably volatile right now with the VIX being where it's at, and you think we're starting to make a turn. And just think, we ain't even got the CPI data that's coming out Thursday. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got that coming out. So crazy times. I can't wait to see what gas is next week and then the week after that. But just buckle up, and it's a roller coaster. And literally looking at those charts, that is a roller coaster. So just have your plan, have your money, have your list ready of what you want to buy and stuff like that, and we'll see what happens. So hope you got some out of it. Hit the like, subscribe button if you did, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.